again on the attendance sheet, please remember to do that. And get a membership card. If you don't have a membership card, that gets us 10% off at various sponsors.
Lots of cookies over there.
Thank you. Lots of cookies. Yes. Do we have any new people here tonight? Visitors? You're not new, but you're welcome.
All right. Good to see you.
No visitors? Be sure that you bought plenty of raffle tickets. We've got great gifts here tonight. Down here on the floor to the left is a $300 gas grill. Compliments of the Cleburne Lowe's. I went there yesterday and she said, I told her I was, our May meeting is tomorrow night. What do you think that you can do for us this month? And she said, well, it's spring. How about a grill? So we went and looked at the grills and she said, how about this one? I said, that's pretty dang nice. So we loaded it up and there it is. Okay. And we still got plenty of wood. That big walnut chunk in the back, make sure you buy a ticket for that. Clamps from the Lowe's in Burleson. Home Depot in Cleburne finally kicked in with some tools. Gary, what's the deal with the bandsaw? Liz donated that?
Liz is not here. No, she's not going to make it tonight.
She's not.
That's her donation to the club.
Okay. Woodcrafters donated. Make sure that we go and shop at these sponsors for being as kind as they are. Tonight's presentation is none other than the lovely and talented Kevin Pilgrim. Now, I know that he did a presentation last month, so I'm asking for volunteers to get on the presentation schedule for the rest of the year. We can't have him come back every dang month.
That would get old for all of us.
Lovely and talented, yes.
Y'all didn't hear that.
I've got two other notes here. Jack, somebody had contacted Jack in need of woodworking, labor. They want to make a toy box. If somebody has time and are willing to take that project on, get with Jack. He will give you the information. I also have another project where a lady wants to take a pew, cut it, miter it, and bring it together so that it's an L-shaped bench. If somebody wants to take that project on, get a hold of me. I will connect you with the person in contact. And also, Rick is back with us. He says he's got a pile of scraps he'd like to give away, and he's given me a bunch of cards here. He's wanting to clean house, so help him out if you can. All right, other business. BLE boxes. As of this morning, I have 23 boxes in the storage, and we have until the July meeting to turn in the last boxes. She will pick them up after the July meeting. So we've got June and July yet to make boxes. Dennis has components down here that just need assembly. If that's all y'all can do, then great. But
Take it home, but I'm not taking it home.
Somebody take them.
And then Jim's got some pieces over here that could be laser engraved, so whoever wants to do laser engraved, grab some, take them, and help Jim out.
Okay.
And then the 2 boxes.
All right. Also on the subject of BLE, we had a small committee go over to Waxahachie and look at our storage units that are unorganized. And she's looking for a solution. So that little tiger team, I think we'll have to get together and discuss what we think might be a solution for that, and also present that to the board and see how much the board is willing to go as far as financing that project. All right, Purple Heart Bench, Dennis, y'all got together last weekend?
Purple Heart Bench, we had a good crowd last Saturday at my shop, and Michael called me Friday evening. We were just going to do the top, and he said, let's do the whole bench. So we got 95% of the bench done. Sweet. And we also the guy, he's going to receive the bench, and that's going to be in July.
Where does this one go?
I'm not quite sure. Someplace, he's local.
Local.
And then Michael is still working on possible might have that bin for Australia. So they're working on how they're going to ship it and over there. Kevin said he could take it over there.
So what's left on the bench?
I'd stow away.
What's the
Michael, I was waiting for Nick Stewart to get us the logo so we could put it on the skirt. And we got that logo. And I think some of the people's got that Nick Stewart logo. He donated all of them to Purple Heart.
Mhm.
So please support Nick Stewart and Justin.
Okay.
So, and then anybody wants, plywood, anything for Great Black Ellie, he gets it out of his cost.
That's awesome.
All right.
So, and then we also had, we got a brand new company that provide us a stain and a sealer for the bench. So we still got to seal it, so we get the Michael engrave it.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Thank you. Barb, do you want to take the floor and give us a craft fair update? There's flyers on all the tables.
Yep.
Barb, microphone.
I need a microphone? Oh. I need a microphone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I have a couple things. Obviously, I need all the flyers and we have a QR code that you can scan and you can show that. Or, ooh, don't want to play on that. Sign up on this thing and I'll get you set up. Also, I had a bunch of you guys sign up to volunteer to help me with the back there, but there's still some spots open. So I'm gonna send these around, and then at the end, after you guys, like the day all the way around, I'm gonna start here and then all the way back that way, and then back up here by Jack. There's for the fair, I'm taking registrations now. I'm sure. Okay, so we're taking the registrations now, so what it will be $50 for the members, however, $25 deposit holds your spot, and then by the end of July, we'll finish that up. Non-members are still $75, we're still at the conference center, at the Cleveland Conference Center like we were last time, but we're gonna have a great time. I made some major connections for food trucks, some face painting, some different things of that nature, so we're gonna have a bunch of fun things to do. This is gonna be a real fun thing, not just a craft fair, it's gonna be a fall festival. I have somebody signed up to do demos. I think Dennis mentioned somebody that he had.
Our Waco Carving Club, I met them last Saturday, mentioned to them, they're going to have a booth set up there with a couple of ladies and.
Yeah, so I guess to do some demos, that would be great. Also, for those assemble, that would be awesome. So that's on here as well. If you can sign up to help with that, that would be great. And then I'll be in touch with everybody. So I'm gonna send these around, okay? You got your Yes.
If we made for the spring, can we just roll that over into the fall?
You should have had that money come back. If you did not, you did. Because I thought you got everybody's money back there. Okay.
Track that.
Yeah, if you did, you paid for spring, let me know and we'll just roll it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So you need volunteers.
I need volunteers to help me put this thing together. I can't do this by myself.
Barb needs volunteers.
Listen, this is our club putting this together. And I want our people to see that this is us. We're, obviously we're all community minded. We've got so much going on with BLE and all of it. But I think that this is going to be a great event that's going to make the fall festival, once we get all the pieces together, we're going to get a lot more foot traffic. I've got some connections for different organizations that are going to help me get the word out better. And certainly this is all going to go on all the social media sites, but I want to really get better foot traffic than what we had last time. So that's my plan.
Much better. Thank you. Let me open the floor for any questions that anybody might have. Come on, I'm not. Yes, sir.
Where do I pay the dues?
Jack.
Y'all take card?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Venmo,
So we're highfalutin now.
yes. Steve?
So I was with Nemesis when we were doing a batch of the Great Lake Deli boxes, and they're all assembled, but we didn't put the Nick Stewart logo on them. I can still do that with my laser. I have a handheld, I can do that.
They're all in Cleburne. Can you do a road trip, or do you want me to cart them to you?
I can do a road trip to Cleveland. It's
Okay.
a lot closer than it is to here.
Okay. Then you get hold of me, and we'll coordinate that. They're in a storage unit right now.
I don't know how many.
What'd you say, Denny?
I was wondering how many does he have to do?
I have 23 boxes in the storage unit.
Yeah, I know some of them probably have the logo, but I know the first
I
batch.
did 18 boxes on Friday and Saturday, and I did 2 of them on Sunday. And I don't think all of them need to be Great Lake Deli. I mean, next to it on it, but
Okay, I
we
want-
can, we could put,
I would like to
yeah.
put it
I
on
agree.
something.
Well, I guess you need an outlet to run your,
Oh, what?
you need an outlet.
I have a battery that'll work with it, but I don't think I can do all of them with that battery.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, we got a bunch of pieces over there, we could be laser there.
All right.
I could only make, you know how big mine?
Yeah.
Could only be that big.
Any other questions, thoughts? Sir?
Wasn't here last month. What's the status of the director?
On the directory, Mr. Kevin, where are you? What's the status on the directory?
Well, right now, I think we have should be close to 30 people on the directory. I started going through it the other day, and I ran across a couple of people that I do not have photos for. So I need to go through there and just update it.
Okay.
And
And it's on the website, Bobby?
yes,
And it's on the website. All right. Yes, sir.
I got a question on the website, the Chisholm Trail Woodworkers.club.
Right?
Tried creating an account. I can't get in. It just keeps telling me your account has been submitted.
Is your membership paid? That was a little joke. Give the IT department. I can't help you, but Bobby will hook you up.
Took about 2 weeks to find it.
Really? Okay. Okay. Another item I have next month is June, and I guess we'll have a quarterly challenge. For the June meeting? We had one in March.
You know, whatever the board decides.
Pardon?
Whatever the board decides.
Is that a board decision? Or I thought we just quarterly did that.
Well, we do, but I think the board decides what the challenge is.
What the challenge is? All right. As luck would have it, the board meets next week and we will discuss that.
Okay.
Sir?
I will answer the questions in the order in which they were received. So, how are we on the directory? If you go and you log in, you should be able to see the club roster, alphabetical by last name if you know their name. If you don't know their name, you search by photo of whoever. Hey, who's that dude? You know, who's that person? Click on the face. And
Boom.
there you go.
Oh, man.
That's award winning.
Where'd you come up with that?
Now, how do I sign in? Let me sign myself out.
So that's as far as I get. I don't see,
Right. So,
that's 15 and on, okay.
yeah, everyone ought to be able to get to this page without the login.
Correct.
But as soon as you try to get into a page that requires a login, it's gonna say, hey, you gotta log in. And so you get this page here, and it says log in. It's gonna ask you, how do you wanna sign up? Or are you already a member? Log in. Okay, you see this right here, already a member? Log in. So if you put in your email and you created a password, this is where you log in. Is with the words log in. If you haven't signed up, you can do it if you've got a Google account already. If you want to use your Facebook account, it's going to ask you all sorts of Facebook questions. So the easiest thing to do is to sign up with email. Because all you got to do is put in an email address and a password of your choosing. You better remember. Okay. It's not, yeah, write it down. We're not storing military secrets here. But when you click sign up with email, it's gonna say, oh, you can put your email here, put your password there, prove that you're not a robot there, and then sign up. Okay? And then once you do that, you have access to everything on the website, the member roster, and all of the downloads that Michael Whittington has put up there. Okay? Let me sign myself in.
What's the URL? Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
website again? Profile will be set to public, automatically when you sign up, there'll be changes, so
That basically means, can I see you or not? Because I don't have any, one of the administrators on the site, Michael's the other.
And the sign in with Google did not work.
What's that?
The sign in with Google did not work.
Then don't use,
That's exactly what I did.
yeah, sign in with email. Who does not have an email? Anybody in here not use email? Okay, just use the email address that you normally use, where, you know, hotandsexy@yahoo.com or whatever. That's mine.
I don't think so.
Oh, you thought that was good? His is hot and sexy one. Anyway, put in archetype one in, but I'll make it. Okay. So, when did you sign up?
And I wanted to wrap.
Get with me after the fact and get you squared away.
Stupid heavy piece of.
Now, another thing that has happened is we put the craft fair information out here. This is the flyer that you see all over the tables. It's here. One thing I've added here is a vendor sign-up page. We want vendors, we want people to pay $75 and do this, even if it means you get bumped. Hope I'm not speaking out of turn.
It's 50 for the memberships here.
Right.
And then 75 for those who are not members. So yeah, I just want to make sure we fill the room. And I
So members get signed up
Yeah, ASAP.
now.
So I made a promo video for our, but I haven't put it out. I wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on. With this video before. So this is basically a video from last year, from the craft fair. Just all the things that Bart put in the flyer. Got it in here. We've got the fact that
Excellent.
we're doing the craft fair.
Excellent.
We've got the date here, all the different doodads that we're pushing.
Extra cookie for you, Bobby.
Kids craft, food trucks. And we need demos. If you want to do a demo, please do a demo. Talk to Gary about doing a demo. You said it's a game. We'll see what kind of games Gary comes up with. Raffles. Some of you might recognize these tables from last year.
Great job.
Thanks for the advertising.
What's that?
I said, thanks for the advertising.
Absolutely. So it's about a 2-minute video. There is sound to it, but I don't have sound on this TV yet. You can meet a real woodworker.
Ooh. Ooh. A real one.
So this video is geared for getting vendors to sign up.
Got it.
We can do another video to promote attendance, which would basically be the same thing, and just take out the sign up to be a vendor today thing. Oh, who's that?
Clown.
And then the very last thing, we got the address of the conference center. And then, okay, what do I have to do to get signed up? That'll be the last thing here. So they know, not only know your phone number, they know your address. Or do they know your face? So that's it. That's the promo video I came up with this afternoon with you guys. No objections there. I can go ahead and publish.
Is $75 the price for the booths this year?
That's for non-members.
Non-members, okay.
Members are ready to fix. If that comes out on the social sites, then it's going to be good to those that are non-members. So, and when they get the registration form, like with you guys, if you scan the QR, it'll come up and it'll say 50 for the members of the club, and then 75 for the non-members. So, it's in there. Okay?
Excellent.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns before we let Kevin perform?
Oh, I do have one thing to add. I've got cameras going, I've got microphones and sound systems going, I got a website going. I could certainly use a media team. If this is something that's up your alley, please talk to me, and I can divvy out some things for other folks to do. If you want to take care of the sound system, it's a matter of plugging it in and making sure Jeff has a talking stick.
Compensation is tremendous.
What's that?
Compensation for this will be tremendous.
Yes.
Half.
If you want to help me with the cameras, that's great. If you want to help post things to YouTube, I welcome it. If you would like to be an administrator on the CTWW website, talk to me about your skill, and Michael and I can help you become an administrator as well.
All right. Kevin?
I got to adjust this short microphone here.
Vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So tonight's presentation has got to do with epoxy work. You know that we put out a thing a couple of weeks ago feel a feeler for interest for anybody that might want to learn a little bit about epoxy. Now let me tell you, if you come to my epoxy class, all you're going to learn is a little bit. You're going to learn epoxy my way. I've done epoxy now for 3 years, maybe 3.5. And I went onto YouTube and I looked at all that stuff and it sounded good, but until you actually get your hands into the epoxy, it's kind of Greek. But I'm gonna talk to you about my experiences. I'm gonna talk to you about what we will do at that epoxy class. Right now we've got 14 people signed up for it that have shown interest, either online or here.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm pretty encouraged about that. I've got room for 14 people in my shop, but depending on what you want to do, whether you want to do just a plain flood coat like this, both sides, that's one thing. If you want to do deep pour work, that's a little more complicated. Takes a little bit more time. Deep pour epoxy is a different ratio, 2-to-1, where flood coat is 1-to-1. So just takes a little bit more time. You mix up your epoxy, pour it, you walk away from it, come back and check on it ever so often. And you're checking for different things during that setup. You're checking for air bubbles, you're checking for bugs. This nameplate that I made for my son's desk at work, I had it finished a week ago, but when I walked back in, there was a bug right there. So I had to sand him out and redo it. Now the thing about this is, this challenge coin pops out. I wanted it to pop out so that he could change challenge coins when he got the opportunity, if he had another one that he liked a little better, whatever. So I didn't pour epoxy on this. I didn't want to encapsulate that. This is actually spar urethane, and it looks just as good as epoxy in my book. A little less work, but as we go through this presentation tonight, we'll talk about doing epoxy on one side and spar urethane on the other. Just makes it a little bit easier in the long run.
When might this meeting be? You have any idea?
Oh yeah. First weekend in June. That will be Saturday, June 6th. So, and we'll probably start 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm not sure. But I've got plenty of parking. I've got, I'll have plenty of room. I've got tables. I've got workbenches, that sort of thing that we can work on. I am going to ask that if you come and you want to make something 18 to 24 inches, try not to bring anything, any larger than this, and everything will be good. But I'm going to give you a list of things that we'll need as we're doing this. Let me look to see where we're at here. Okay, so I'm going to pass around a couple of things. This is one of the first boards that I ever did, and there's just a lot wrong with this board. First off, the color it's uneven, especially around the edges. You know how when you're pouring water out of a container, it will, instead of pouring, sometimes it wraps around the edge and pours down? Well, I don't know what that's called, but epoxy does the same thing in reverse. When you get to this, if you'll look at this right here, you'll see where when I poured this, it was solid, it was beautiful. Came back later and it had soaked up right there at that edge. It seems to shrink away from a sharp edge. So you want to soften that. But Everything that you see on this surface right here is air bubbles that came up later. And I didn't want to deal with them. So it's sitting here just like it is. Yeah, sounds good to me. Also, when you pour your epoxy on here, and we'll talk about the application here in a minute, you get it poured on here, and once you're happy with this, then you start pushing it over the edges. You can use your hands for that, and then you can wipe the edges and make sure that you get it all good and covered. It will also soak up in there. It's not an even finish here. But it will also do this on the bottom side. Yeah. I think that's very interesting. I like it.
They're symmetrical.
They are. So one thing that you can do is you can run tape. It can be masking tape like this. It can be tuck tape. It can be packing tape. Whatever it is, you want to just, as you've made your pour, and you know that it's starting to form these things, just rub your hand along here and get it cleaned off. And just keep doing that until you don't feel those drips anymore. But if you've got the tape on there, that's just extra protection so that you don't have to come back and sand this off. It's a lot of work, and it eats up a lot of sandpaper. So I'm going to send this around. You can just look at it, and you can look for all the imperfections in it. Like I said, you'll see dry spots where it's soaked back up. You'll see stress cracks where the wood has got stress points. Looks great. A month later, it doesn't look so great. But
Would putting a conditioner on the wood before you put the epoxy stop there?
it'll stop it to a great deal, and we're going to talk about that just a little bit. Sure enough. When you're doing an epoxy project, and there's always going to be some left over. You hope there's going to be some left over. Have something small on hand to use that extra epoxy on. You can cover this up and again, get the little dimples on the bottom. But there's lots of things that you can do with the epoxy to make sure that you use it all.
So this is a flood coat also?
Yes.
So how did you get the sides and the bottom without building up in your?
Well, it's built up a little bit, but I mean, you're talking about an 1/8 to a 1/16 inch depth flood coat, and so you're not going to get that much in there.
Okay.
You take it, and once you get it down in there, if you feel that right there, it's rough. It feels like 80 grit sandpaper, but glossy 80 grit sandpaper. Okay, so typically I use moss. I can get this at Rockler. I get this size right here because it's a good size for me to use. And you can see that this is yellowed. It doesn't matter. Once you mix it and it cures, or you get it mixed thoroughly, it's crystal clear like those right there. There's not a problem with that. I went to Rockler today. Let me pull my phone up here and see. That kit right there. That kit right there is $52. Well, it's $53 for that kit. That's for the tabletop.
So the 2 bottles.
Yeah, for the 2. Mm-hmm.
What's in the kit?
This right here is a kit for tabletop epoxy for a flood coat. And then if you want the deep pour, it is $45. So that's what you're looking at cost-wise as far as epoxy. Now, when you and I did your board, did, I had some other cups. We used a cup similar to this size, didn't we? So y'all remember the board that Stanley brought last month? It was about this long and about 8 or 9 inches wide. This much mixed epoxy did that board. So, you know, you're not going to use up $53 worth of epoxy in one pour unless it's just a huge project. But this is a 1-to-1 pour. It's good for flood coats.
Kevin, what's the shelf life on that kit?
I don't know. I've had that for over a year.
I've had some 2 and 3 years, as long as it's not out in the garage and froze. I'll keep it in the house, I don't let it freeze.
I think it can overheat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. So going back to your question, Don. So I use the 1-to-1 Moss epoxy. You can also get smaller quantities of this type of epoxy at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I have not seen I've used it, and I haven't noticed a difference in the way it sets up and the way it spreads and that sort of thing. But going back to your question, if you want a really good pour the first time, you need to seal coat your wood. And that was my question when I first started, because they were making it sound like you had to use epoxy. Well, you need to use lacquer or shellac or anything that will seal up the grain and the end grain.
You gotta be careful on what you use for the undercoat. The reason they recommend epoxy is because there's a drinking bond between epoxy and epoxy. You're not gonna get a drinking bond necessarily with lacquer or something else that's not an epoxy. So a lot of places will recommend that you use a penetrating epoxy before you seal it.
Okay. And that was confusing to me when I first started doing this. In my opinion, in my experience, if you put your coating on there, sand it. You know, don't just put epoxy on a hard surface. Sand it so that it's got some bite to it.
So like conditioner, anytime I'm doing pine or anything like that, I always put a conditioner on the board so that I don't get washes and stuff like that, because it's sealing fiber somewhat. Probably not as good as possible. But would that be enough? 1 or 2 coats of that, would that be enough, or do we need a true undercoat?
No good scrap piece of practice. That's what happens.
I would use 2 or 3 coats of whatever you're using, whether it's lacquer or shellac or like he's talking about. Today at Rockler, I noticed that they do have a penetrating epoxy. Moss does. So if you want to buy that, you can buy it. It's more expensive than this.
Now, is it 2-part also?
Yes.
Penetrating, he's just gonna soak into the wood and seal it.
Yeah. So like on this piece of mesquite right here, you would want to seal the face grain. You'd want to seal the edge grain. This hole right here, you want to seal that, because I mean you'll see bubbles just coming up, and then you'll get tired. Yeah, you'll get tired of playing with that. This board right here is as close to perfect as I've ever come, and there's still 2 bubbles right there that I could not get rid of. I can't feel this one, but I can feel that one. So.
Now, they came from where it was joined together, you think?
No. Well, it's I think it's coming from this piece of mesquite.
And you poured a form for that one, right? Or did you just seal it?
That was the form.
That, okay, the edge was the form.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, and then you put your tabletop on top of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used a deep pour on the blue, and then I came back with the
With the overpour.
with the tabletop. Trying to stay on track here.
And what'd you use on that hole? Did you use a deep pour on it, or did you use this tabletop in there?
I don't remember. I don't remember. It's been, these are the boards that I used last year at our craft fair. I haven't done any epoxy since then except for what you and I did the other day. So decide which side of your board is going to be your showstopper. So this piece of olive wood right here, it had a really nice featured crack right there. This was my showstopper. If I was going to do this board today, I would come over on this, I would seal coat the whole thing 2 or 3 times. Then I would come on this side of the board and I would use spar urethane if it was me. If it was me. And then after it is cured, then I would tape it off and I would do my epoxy pour on this top. And if it's sealed the very best that you can seal it, your bubbles should be a very minimal. And with flood coats, you don't have the bubbles that you have with pours like that one right there. When you use deep pour, that's where your bubbles are really a problem.
You hand mix or you use a drill?
I hand mix. Yep. This is deep pour. This is the final finish. There is no sanding, no polishing on any of my work. I'm too lazy for that. I like the way this looks. I mean, it's glossy. It's every bit as glossy as I want it to be, and I don't have to be, throwing polish and that sort of stuff around. So.
Did you use on that green that you have on that, was that another type of epoxy with the coloring in it, or how did you do that one?
That is flood coat. That's the moss, that's this right here, tabletop, with pigment in it.
With pigment for just that piece?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Do that first and then come back with, this is the same thing. By the way, if you want anything CNC'd, Michael Hammett's your man.
Yeah.
I took this to him and he did this CNC work for me. And then I poured tabletop epoxy with this gold pigment in it. And I laid the pigment to it because I wanted it to show up. But again, this is not epoxy, this is spar urethane.
So when you did that part and you got it into the CNC part, obviously you're going to have more that comes up and over, so you're sanding it so that it's just showing what you want it to show.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I tried to keep it as focused of a pour as I could so that there wasn't a whole lot of flow out.
Gotcha.
But then I came back with a 220 or 180 sandpaper and then 220 and then came back with 320.
That's super cool.
Isn't that some pretty wood?
That's some beautiful wood.
So, during your seal coats, during your preparation, CA glue is your friend. I prefer clear. I've gotten to where I do not like to use the black because I don't want it to bleed off into the grain that's around that. Where I think the clear doesn't do that.
Do you have a brand preference? Because I see tons of brands on Amazon.
What was that?
Brand?
I like Star Bond. This is not Star Bond. This is Stick Fast.
So you can also seal it a little bit before you use the black Star Bond, so it doesn't stuff that it's spray some lacquer or something on it first, or you can.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. It's an extra step, but you can. And I do like the black. I've used black plenty of times, but I've grown to where I like the clear better.
They've got two different colors of brown now too.
Do they?
Really, really light brown and then the regular dark brown.
Redwood. There's a place out in California, I forgot his name. Do you? How many of y'all use painter pyramids when you're spray painting and that sort of thing? I thought I brought it.
Oh, the little
Yeah.
triangles and the whole thing's up. Gotcha. Yes.
I use those on everything when I'm pouring. That way the epoxy can drip along the edges. I can clean it off. I can reach up underneath there and clean it off. So, as level as you can, yes. So, to answer your question, use a paint stick to stir it up. When I'm spreading the clear, I use a saw blade. What? Who?
Rick Edwards.
I thought you were telling me the presentation more or less, I asked you about your classes.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay.
Hey, quick question. Was the blue beach, or did you do tabletop on the blue?
The blue is deep pour. Now, one thing about the deep pour is I've got a board that's yay big, and the heat from that deep pour will cause that pigment to swirl as it's curing. I've had a couple of boards where it did not, but that one did. I started it a little bit, but that one made its own swirls. The one that I've got that's yellow, man, I left it alone. I came back later and it looked like a storm cloud. It was just gorgeous.
When do you stop deep pour and then go to tabletop? I mean, is there a limit, like deep pour, you only go 3/4 inch or something, and then tabletop is just a fine layer? Or?
Yeah, okay, he wanted to know how deep, if I understood him right, how deep do you want to go with your deep pour? So like, I used to want to go all the way to the top. I wanted it to be flush. And then I saw a pour where somebody had poured it up like a quarter, 3/16 from the top and left wood. And then when they put that clear on top of it, you had extra depth there. It looked really, really good. So that's what I do. I don't go all the way to the top anymore with color. Some people do. And there's nothing wrong either way. If you want to bring it all the way to the top of your wood, that's fine.
So it got, on the deep pour, when it got to, say, peanut butter consistency, you just stirred it all up. And then let that set, and then poured clear on top of that, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing as well?
I have started when it was, starting to set up. I haven't waited that long. I'm too much of a chicken. But yeah, it's deep pour is fun because that's where you get your colors. Now, when we do our class,
What is the working time on that?
it's about 30 minutes. It's been a while since I timed it, but you've got like 5 to 8 minutes to mix it all up. And then if you're going to put color in it, put your color in it, mix it up again, and then start pouring. Yes?
So you've got 2 jugs there that are open bottles, right?
Yes.
How long after you open a a bottle of epoxy, you have to use like how many months or how many weeks? I mean, as long as you're keeping the A and the B separate,
Yeah.
have you ever come across, hey, I just use the hell out of epoxy, and I don't know how long it lasts because I'm just using it? Or you're like, okay, once you get past a certain time frame, then the epoxy's no good?
I can't answer that, but I mean, I've had that for over a year.
I can answer it. It can go back.
Some 2 years.
Okay.
It can. So if it goes bad, it'll come out yellow and won't clear.
All right.
So what was your answer?
So it can go bad, and sometimes what will happen is it won't come out clear. You won't be able to get it clear.
But that's fine if you're putting a pigment in it.
Right? That's true.
And they say to keep your epoxy balls out of the UV light.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to, speed up the process.
Rick, I saw you raise your hand.
Did you tool the ends of that board after the G-port?
Yeah, that was a mistake. There were 2 Miller dowels in each end, and I think one corner blew out, I think. And so then I had to take it to my router table and.
It looks cool.
Yeah, thank you.
How long after you poured did it take care of?
Okay, so I did a pour the other day. The next morning, I took the tape off of it. Yeah. No. Now deep pour is a different story. It might be 2 or 3 days. It might be a week before you're actually going to be able to do anything with it.
Just pour that and walk away for days.
Yeah.
I did not a big deep pour, but a small one here a while back. I thought it was cured, and 2 days later I pulled the form and it started, it didn't pour out of there, but it started sagging.
Yeah, I've had that happen. Now, when we do our class, whenever we do the class in my house, I have got plenty of pigment. So you don't have to worry about buying a pigment unless you have a favorite that you run across. Then you can buy, one of these Rockler or Woodcraft or wherever.
That's a Rockler set.
No, this is from Upstart.
Do you have any more of that blue color?
The blue, I'm not sure. We'll look in here and see. Yeah. There are formulas. There are formulas to how much coverage you get. And I don't have that information with me now, but we'll use it at the class. But when we did the pour on his, I told him, I said, I'm just going by memory, and we poured up just about this much right here. We mixed up just about this much right there and used it all.
That's what I was scared of. I never did a tabletop. I said, I don't know whether to mix 1 gallon or 100 gallons. Everything else I know how to figure out. Tabletop I did not. Yeah, but I didn't mix. Yeah.
So you can buy the packets like that. You can buy tubs like this of pigment. You can use spreaders like this. They're not as consistent as you're keeping the depth of your pour. Using your hands is not as consistent. But if you do use this and you use your hands, you want to finish with this right here, because these teeth regulate how deep your pour actually is. And you got 2 different depths. But it works really well for that. I'm going to leave it at that right there. I could keep on talking, but I think you've heard me say this before. Working with epoxy is an exercise in stubbornness. Who's more hard-headed, you or the epoxy? And that's basically my take on it.
Yes.
Any questions? Any comments?
So the epoxy, when you do the tabletop pour, it's not self-leveling?
It is.
Oh, it is?
Yes. But you're helping it.
How level does the table have to be?
It needs to be level. It does. And when I do that, I put a level on it. No, I'm not.
Okay, let's.
There was a woman on Facebook a couple of weeks ago that posted that she had like 9 of these post office box fronts, and she wanted to give them away to somebody if they would make her a coin box. And so I was lucky enough to contact her, and she gave me these box fronts, and I made this box for this woman. This is all walnut right here. You go on Facebook and you can go to tutorials, and they'll tell you how to break this code for this box. So on the bottom, I've got the code down here so that she'll never forget what the code is to be able to open this up. So this, I got it all put together, dry put together. And then the next day, I mean, I was happy with the measurements. The next day, I tried to put it together again, and I could not get it to go together, and I was convinced that it was out of square. So I took this piece of wood right here and I cut it, put it back together, and it was really out of square then, so I had to make thin strips of maple. I mean, you think it's a feature, but it's a cover-up.
That's awesome.
So this woman, she just yesterday had a double mastectomy. I'm going to take, where's Jerry? I'm going to take one of Jerry's hug things, and I'm going to drop it down in here for her when I give it to her tomorrow. So I think she'll really like this. But this was a fun build. These doors they're operable. So anyway, that's it.
Very good.
Go ahead.
Somebody on Facebook said that they were doing a birdhouse challenge. I had seen this somewhere, and I took a picture of it, and I decided I'd had this. These are fence pickets that somebody had done whatever they did to it, and anyway, I'd had them sitting back in the shop for a pretty good while, and I thought, hey, I know what I'm going to do with those. So anyway, I put this together. By the way, I am the frame carpenter, and Walter's a finish carpenter. He helped me finish it up. So anyway, together yesterday we finished it up, and here we are.
Be sure to introduce yourself so I can see your name on the video.
My name is Ronald Bruce, and I've got a granddaughter that likes to help me make biscuits and tortillas. The other day I was making tortillas and she wanted to roll hers, so she rolled hers with the Play-Doh rollers. Needless to say, the tortillas still got eaten. I didn't necessarily tell everybody that I didn't wash the Play-Doh rollers. But I really like working with the Osage Orange. It's a little harder to turn than mesquite, but color's beautiful. Tomorrow this is going to get broke in when me and my granddaughter makes more tortillas.
Steve Nichols, new member. I'm a little embarrassed to be here, really, to do this, but Ronald, I got an old lathe. A fellow gave me 10, 15 years ago. I've never even turned it on, never touched a lathe in my life, but he volunteered to come to my house today, and we've been there all day today turning on my new lathe. And it turns out it was made in 1995, but it was practically brand new. It had never been, anyway. I made a top. All my finials broke.
There you go.
There you go. That's awesome.
I'm gonna put a finish on it tomorrow.
Don Knutson. I got this, let me show you, it's empty. I got this from a buddy of mine. He broke the original grips on it, so he asked me if I could make him some. So got a chunk of rosewood. This is my second attempt. The first one went to pieces when I put the ferrule in it, but it's got notches for your fingers, and so it fits in pretty good. But it's still got a couple more coats of poly to go on it. But it turned out okay.
Oops, excuse me.
Jake Kennedy. This is what I call a kitchen utensil. And so you can open up a hot oven rack and then you can push it back in. And then that pops open like a mason jar once you unscrew the round part. And then it has an herb stripper in there, so you can feed thyme or basil or cilantro, rosemary, whatever through it, and it just strips all the herbs.
Awesome.
So, yep.
Okay, I'm Steve Mills. James gave me a chunk of wood. I still don't know what kind it is. I'll take anybody's guess at what it is, but it was really, really ugly. Unfortunately, I didn't take a picture before I started. So my best guess was, let's make a vase out of it. Had a big old ugly knot here. It's got brass and black CA glue in it, and came out pretty good.
Hi, I'm Mike Ward. I make bowls. My kids gave me a bunch of exotic woods over for Christmas, and they're only 6 inches long and 3/4 inches square. I figured, what can I do with that? And so I made the frame around here. Had to do a lot of math to make sure that the edges don't line up with each other and get the angles just right to shape it. But it took a lot of time to shape this thing. I love the colors, though.
Excellent.
I didn't know there was such a long line. I would have brought less bowls. But my name's Ray Apodaca, and I'm primarily a greenwood bowl turner. And I just moved to Texas, this year. So I've been excited to try out the different species that are local. And these are live oak that I fumed with ammonium hydroxide. And it really darkened them up and kind of brought them to life.
That's cool.
And then this is post oak, and I just wanted to show how much it warped and moved. I turned it pretty thin, and it was perfectly crisp, when I turned it, and then one day later, it kind of like an Easter egg. And then this is a tool finish. I never even sanded this piece.
Wow.
I like it.
Very cool.
That's cool. And then I found some Osage orange from the tornadoes that went through Springtown. And I drove out and brought some home, and this was my first time turning that.
That Osage orange comes out.
Yeah, it's beautiful wood.
That's really cool. Nicely
Thank
done.
Hi, I'm Brandon. In case you need another example of how not to do your epoxy, I brought one as well. This is a clipboard I made for my son. You can see that I've got two different colors in the deep pour, and then I put Legos in it, but I didn't stick them down before I did the clear coat, so they all floated to the top, which is why the Lego guy's got half a face, and all the Legos are kind of planed in half. But then I did the flood coat, and I did that wrong, so that's cool. But the clipboard hardware is like 10 for $10 on Amazon, so I'm probably going to be making at least 9 more of these. So I got 9 other chances to get it right.
I'm Denny Hoy. I have a grandson graduating from high school this year, and my wife told me I needed to make him a box. So this is it.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Very nice.
What's that finished?
It's lacquer.
I'm Cliff, and this thing was an experiment, just an experiment mostly. Turned out to look fairly nice. You know, I needed something that was thin to put on the front of it. It's just an applique in case somebody was going to store this with a bookcase, so it wouldn't knock off whatever's there. So it's really thin. And then you open it up, and it's a ring case.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I cut that velvet.
all the
with
rings
my
I found
laser.
with metal detector. Most of
So
them are
it's
silver.
scissors. Yeah.
There's
And not only
one
that, but it
gold
seals
toe
the
ring.
edge so it doesn't fray.
Little bitty, but it's gold.
That's super cool. Beautiful.
So I'm Mike Hammett. I do a lot of CNC work. This is actually the first time I've done scaling. So this is a board I made for my brother's grandson. It doesn't fit on my CNC table, so I had to do it in two parts. And so this is actually version 2. So I'll tell you, let you guess what happened in version 1. The first board I bought had some roughness on the side. And so I'd already measured the board and I put it in the computer, and but I had to cut off some of it. So when I cut off some of it, I made the picture smaller. And so I started cutting it. And so what was my mistake?
Did you lose the numbers?
So this is supposed to be a foot. And it turned out to be 9 inches. So this is version 2. So anyway, that's the first time I've done scaling.
That's beautiful, though.
Hi, I'm Jerry Bear. It's an intarsia piece that I designed and made this last couple of months. I actually sold this. I was invited to go to a juried fine art show this past weekend, and I sold it, but the lady, I know her, and so she let me bring it tonight. So I'll probably get to enter it in the fair too, so that'll be good.
That's so cool.
But this was pretty challenging. It's got 135 pieces, something like that. It's just a real challenging piece. It's got bloodwood, black limba, wingate, big leaf maple, lignum vitae. Lignum vitae will get greener under UV light. So you can put it under a UV and it'll get greener, but it's not very long and it starts lighting up again. It's really weird. It's the strangest wood. And then mahogany. And then I made the frame out of walnut, and I used the red heart to inlay the strip in here. So, and it's just a cherry MDF plywood. So, yeah, pretty proud of it.
I made my first platter and got the wood from Ray. He came over to my shop for a great black Ellie box. He asked me if I wanted a chunk of wood, and I go, God, I got so much wood. And I said, oh, why not? And then I called up Ron, and next thing I know, he came over to my shop and turned a platter.
That's cool.
And I was turning it, there was chips flying about 30 feet in the air, and
What kind of wood is it?
cedar elm.
Cedar elm?
Yep.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And then I made it to fit 3 of my wife's dishes. And she goes, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm making something. So she came out to my shop and she said, that's mine.
Why would you expect anything else?
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Turned out pretty good.
That's beautiful.
All right. Thank you.